Welcome, friends, to another episode of Laurie Maves Art live painting from the studio of Laurie Maves Gulyami. Robert Ians, thank you for joining us. Radha, thank you for joining us today. So, I just got back from a really nice walk. My husband and I just went for a nice 4 or 5 mile walk out in this place called Robinson Preserve, which is beautiful. We saw a bunch of wild white pelicans. So speaking of white pelicans, hi, Cassandra. Thank you guys for joining. I am working on a brand new piece today. I have this lovely big canvas that I'm not exactly sure what the dimension is, but it's primed and ready to go. Want to share with you just a couple of things because I haven't done this in a while. I finished this I love this floral. I love this kind of composition for a floral, and it has this beautiful blue metallic paint in there. So I was working on this past week with a bunch of other florals that I'm finishing up for a pop-up show that I am co-hosting with Debbie Danheiser in downtown Sarasota next Saturday, December 13th. But you guys aren't here to hear that. You're here to watch live painting, which I am going to do from an intuitive perspective today. And so what does that mean? That means I'm looking over here because I need to pick my paints. And this is wonderful because I haven't put a lot of time into pre-planning this painting. I just literally got it hung up on the wall and got it primed. So you guys have joined me for some other things. I didn't do the Frida Kahlo live, but I just finished this really great Frida Kahlo painting. I'm very happy with it. Cosmic Sushi, awesome. Thank you for joining. And before that, I was painting this large floral, which it's at the framer right now. So you guys have seen me paint real, literal objects, things, whatever. Like there was a goal that you could see in the words that escape me about what that representational painting. You have seen me just do representational painting. Oh, where are you where are you in SA? We love Frida. I am a huge Frida freak. Should I show you my Frida? I can show it to you real quick. It's in the other room. She's drying in there, and I put a clear coat on her. So I know I don't usually do this walk throughout the house, but here she is. And I just love her. She's got a great, so she's got some great metallics in the background and from different angles. She's got some sheer in there. She's got some great gold in her eyes. And I love this texturing of her outfit. So, yeah, the eye color is thank you, Cassandra. I really appreciate your feedback. This is a commission piece for a restaurant in um, what area is that? It's not downtown Denver. High-low, if you're familiar with Denver, Colorado. And it's going into a Mexican restaurant there. And so it'll be right by the bar. I'm very excited. So this should get out of there soon. Okay, back into the studio. Robert, thank you. She's my Robert Ians, who is on the chat, is an owner of one of 12 Frida portraits that I made. Goodness, now that was probably 12 years ago. Let me put you back into my holder here. Robert's Frida, I also love that. Okay, so I'm going to paint for 1 hour today, and, again, it's gonna be an intuitive process. So how do I do an intuitive process? Well, I usually sit and look at the canvas. If you guys can see, the canvas has a little bit I had a painting under it that I was not happy with, and so it's gonna get a second chance at life here. It's always nice when you get a second chance at life. Oh, one other thing I really wanna show you really quick. This is also not something I normally do, but, my husband had this old has a Louis Vuitton planner from, like, 2009, and he never used it. So, it had all of these sheets, and it had note sheets. If you like Louis Vuitton, some people I mean, I like Louis Vuitton, but, my clothing of choice is Louis Vuitton or from the thrift store, so go figure that. But I took these sheets that were from notebook pages, and with the light here, you can't see. I did all these, like, they're like little Louis Vuitton, and they have the what do you call this stuff? These are all from notebook papers. So I made, like, 100 of these little greeting cards. They can be thank you cards, hello cards. So if you guys are interested in these, I'm gonna be selling them in packs of 8 or 10, or I might be um, giving them away with whatever that means, but Um, I just think they're cute and fun, and I always like to encourage people to send written notes because people don't really do that anymore. It's becoming a lost art. So I made these with the intention that people would use them to send real messages with real handwriting before all of that goes away. Okay, so my paint selection. What are you feeling today, Lori? What are you feeling today? What are you feeling today? I might be quiet for a little bit, guys, as I pick out my paints and set them up over here. And let me go grab some water real quick. It's funny, you still might be able to hear me. I don't I've never done a live intuitive painting before. I have to be honest with you. I don't like that term, but if I'm being honest or to be honest, that phrase is something that really makes my skin crawl a bit because it's like, well, if someone's saying to be honest, does that mean they're not usually honest with you? Right? This is honestly the first time I've done an intuitive painting live. Usually I just put my music in and go to town. So, I'm not quite sure how this is gonna go today, and I usually listen to music also, which I could. Do you guys have any questions before I start? Hi, Carl. Is that Carl? Hi, Carl. I'm gonna do the intuitive painting. I think Carl was on last time I was painting flowers. And I don't really like the orientation of this painting vertically. But I'm gonna start with it today vertical, and, and, maybe next time we go live, I'll make it horizontal. And start with some real dark colors. Yeah. So, and I usually don't start with a black, but I do like maybe I'll use a burnt umber. To me, that seems black. I love black, but it can make paintings go flat. Let's be honest. Huh, right? That phrase. I'm gonna make a mix of burnt umber, which is just some liquid acrylic. I'm gonna mix some burnt umber with some uh whatever how you pronounce that with a quinzone. It's purple. So how do we start an intuitive painting? Well, you just listen to the canvas and see what happens. This canvas is a little small. And I can tell you right now, I don't like the purple. Well, why do you want to be so judgy, Lori? It's because I don't like the purple with the brown. But actually it's not too bad. I don't like the way the primer is working. Primer's resisting the paint a little bit. I don't like that. But it'll provide for a different kind of experience. I might have to switch to oil. Right now, it's acrylic. I'm thinking that might be the situation here. Yes. So what happens in this intuitive painting process? Oh, it's really interesting to try to explain it because it is something that if anybody who's watching this are painters, I'm sure it's different for everybody. Um, so what happens is I just listen, almost like, when if you're aware enough to listen to the voices in your head and you realize that who knows where this information is coming from, but instead of just working, I realize I'm stopping and talking a lot. And my husband made sweet fun of me the other day because he said, "Do you realize that when you talk and you stop and you talk and you stop and you talk and you stop, that that's how it is living with you?" And I guess he gets frustrated because I never finish my thought. But I don't think I ever finish my thoughts because I'm always kind of immersed in my thoughts. So again, back to intuitive painting and trying to explain it while you're painting is a real mind fuck because um, I'm not used to talking to people or explaining my process. So I'm going to try to do that as best I can. So what happens is I hear something in my mind and it'll say, grab. Like that's and I've never figured this out. Is that the painting talking to me? Who's talking to me? Is it just my brain? This is the whole question of our existence and where do our thoughts come from? So in intuitive painting, when you don't have a plan, where are you? Where is this composition arriving from? Right? That is the $1,000,000 question. So in my mind, if I'm going to try to just keep rolling while I'm talking and talking to you and painting at the same time, I heard very clearly when I saw how this is not maybe blending the way I want it to, because again, this is acrylic paint and I prefer oil, but it's still so warm out. I can't really open the doors. Can you believe it? It's still 80 degrees down here in South Florida. And you might be like, "Oh, that's awesome." But when it's been 80 degrees for the last 8 months, I'm over it. And I wanna open the windows, but and the doors. But back again in my mind, when I started applying this paint, I thought, "Well, I heard grab some acrylic retardant because that slows the process down, and I might be able to blend this more." So that's what I did. I grabbed this acrylic retardant, and that'll slow the drying process down, which should, uh, allow for a very blendy atmospheric treatment of this. See, that's already dried. Oh, no, I can pull some of it. I don't like that brush either. Let's try this one. So this white that I'm using is really just acrylic retardant, and I'm mixing it with some of this phthalo green. And I just see, I heard in my mind, light green, light green, light green, light green. Who's telling me light green? You guys have ideas, let me know. Probably like she just needs to go to see a therapist about that voice in her head. No, it's just what happens, right? The voice in her head. Light green, light green, light green today. Okay, guys. That isn't exactly the light green I was looking for, but we're just laying color down. It doesn't really matter. And I really want this to be super blendy. You will want me. It seems to be important. So because I had no plan for its name, it's like, where do the ideas for abstract paintings come from, right? If they don't come from a real, how do you say that delicately? If it doesn't come from a real place, is it a real place? Is it just somewhere else that we don't know? It's really just, I don't know. You guys got any insight on that? Put it in the chat. The only insight I have right now is I don't like the way this acrylic is appearing. Oh, that's not good. Like the way this acrylic is appearing on the surface here. But then again, I'm getting some kind of nice, airy results here, which in a few minutes I might move the camera and basically see also what's happening here. Make me feel traffic here for you guys. It's really like it. What's happening here. Bear with me while I move the camera. I don't know if it got me any closer or not. Sorry for the movement. Lime green in your head. That's right. Green's in my head. Well, green's always in my head. I think it's one of my favorite colors. Yeah, I used to be a lime. It's a very interesting surface in my opinion because this is a very cycled thing. And one that's feel like the surface is a little more nylon than cotton. It's so what's happening too? You don't know. I'm just listening to the painting is saying, "You blend us here." Wait, I'll do that. Blend us here. Okay, then we need more. We need more retardant. Okay, I'm just going to keep going with this lime green because that is not something I usually do. But there's not, I want this and I want the glow in there. There. Hopeful. Yep, no, I don't really use, I've never made a flow painting, but I'm thinking a flow will act like a retardant in the way. But it has to be similar in its structure because flow medium helps you pour the paint, right? And so it helps the painting not set. It helps it flow. So I'm thinking in my mind that would be functioning the same way as a acrylic retardant. So it's funny, people are just logging in now. They're like, what in the hell? She painting. Well, she doesn't know either. Not like I'm not letting you in on a little secret. Even Bob Ross had examples in the background for what he's really painting. So good for him. God bless. I miss it. It's like a nice baby. Okay. Oh, it looks like a real mess. But we're getting some color down and we're getting some texture down. And that makes me happy. Need I need a bigger studio is what I need. Are there any other artists online? 'Cause I can go back. I think I can go back and check the messages here. What is the largest painting you've ever done? I think the largest live painting I've ever done was I. That means what is the biggest you're gonna ever painted in front of an audience of people? And I think it was maybe 2012. Yeah, 2012. One of the most interesting live painting gigs was I was hired to paint for a Denver suburban high school's prom. So as there's a DJ going off over here, the dance floor is here. Laurie is on some stage with risers, and I'm painting this huge scene. And I'm trying to think now what the scene was. While all these kids were dancing at their prom. And I actually found my old prom. I had my own prom dress from 1989. And I didn't wear the prom dress. I'm kidding, but I had it on the stage there. And I end up painting like a prom queen and king kind of thing. And someone from a high school kept this. But that was a really huge painting. I want to say that was like 10 feet by 8 feet, maybe at least. Quite large. But I knew what I was painting. This for you guys. It definitely from here. And but now think about this. If you're still with me, is that all of your energy, all of you viewers, all of your energy is in this painting because you're watching it happen. So because you're watching it unfold, and I know you're there and I sense you're there, you're all part of the painting here. Right? So Carl's going to show up somewhere. Cosmic Suji's going to show up somewhere. Robert Ian's is going to show up somewhere. Just like that. And half hour has passed. Every time I go into the paint shine warp, some people call it the zone, some people call it flow state, where you just lose track of time. And it happens every single time. I could be painting, an hour goes by like that, and look at the clock. I'm like, what's in how time stops, slows down, or it speeds up. Which one? You normally wouldn't fill the whole spot with background. Like I like to leave some white space because I think it gives your eye a chance to rest. Yeah, I'm done the bars here. I think I'm gonna get some white. See, I heard white. I'm getting white. Two green. That's all I'm hearing. Two green. So let's add some white. See where this goes. Mm. Whoa. Watch me work on this thing and it fall right out of the wall. Not that I want that to happen. I just have a feeling. That's just water. Shh. Okay. Okay, just keep going. Keep going. Keep going. It's a mess. It's ominous. It's a big mess. Keep talking and keep talking. Oh, I really wish I had been alive during the times of Helen Frankenthaler, Joan Mitchell. I've been hanging out with those girlfriends and yesterday. Got myself one apartment and Chelsea, some shit warehouse apartment. I'm having canvas all over the floor, and I would be avoiding Jackson Pollock's drinking at parties. Okay, see, I just heard in my head 3 times, change your brush size. So we're changing our brush size. Okay, who's ever telling me I'll change the brush size? All right. This area is now telling me it's way too green. Fine. This area really, it's very happy. I'm just leaving this area alone for now. Doesn't mean for eternity. It just means this seems happy. This one's a bit confused. So this here and that are giving me problems in my head. And believe you me, we've got enough problems in our head. We don't need our paintings to give us any more grief. Right? That's why this is Art Therapy 101. That's what you do with extra water in your brush. I'm feeling well. See if there's a soil paint. I could totally come back in here. No problem. And mix away for days. Getting some purple and green showing up through there. That's very interesting. Anyway. So what's the process here? I don't know. Step back, make some marks that you're not overthinking. Just make them, make them, make them. No, and then there's the problem right there. That's a problem. I have to come back to this. Mhm. If you blend it all too much, you're going to lose the texture underneath it. And you don't want to lose the layers that you're building. And that's also why an hour is a good amount of time to paint, because if I kept going, then you would annihilate everything you just put out. We don't want to do that. We want to save some of these good little gems that are coming up here that have not been overthought, and they haven't been overworked, and they haven't been painted out, but they're thoughtful. I also love a big brush because with big soft brushes, you have this ability to do this kind of feathery blending. It's also has to do with the amount of pressure and putting on the tool itself, right? But because it's also wet, you can kind of come back in and do these kind of feathery strokes. But now that's messing with the water that I just threw on there. So I might have to just end this because now every time I go in here, I'm losing what all this beautiful stuff I just put on. And I don't want to do that. So I'm going to put the big brush down. I'm going to grab a small brush and see how this is treated, how it is received. And it's just like it's dancing. This brush is dancing. You know, and I'm going to stop because what I'm noticing right away in my little dancing brush here is that it's not, this layer isn't dry. So I'm messing with the beautiful kind of textures I've got. And I don't like it. I don't like it. So one last shot here. This just to kind of get a nice smooth feathered. I'm going to leave that. Okay. This is a great place to stop because of the things I just mentioned. One, it's wet, so it's real fragile. And so if I keep painting it, I'm going to annihilate the marks I'm making. Two, I don't want to lose not only the marks I've made, but these dark areas that I started with, because I find that that's where we're going to get a lot of depth in the painting, or these dark places and the light on top of it. So you don't only get this experience of there being multiple planes in the painting. If it's all one color, if it's all one hue, you get a very flatness. And I want to see either to be really ethereal, or I want to see a lot of places that you can go and hide. You can go in and out of the painting. So that's great for the day. It was like 45 minutes. So I'm going to let this sucker dry. And then I actually really love, you can see it here. This is like my favorite part of the painting. There's this yellow streak here, goes into that lime green. And there's this kind of sweeter celery, a light phthalo green. This is my favorite corner of the painting. But let's see what happens. I might do this again tomorrow at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, but I might turn it sideways. Do you guys have any final questions? Shane, thank you for joining. Jan C, thank you. Bingo Warrior, thank you. Japanese base. Carl, it is. I feel like a lot of my paintings feel like they have this origin in Japan. I've never been to Japan, but it's on my wish list. Okay, kids, that's all I'm gonna paint today. I really appreciate your time hanging out with me. Again, this was a really interesting first time process of me painting without a plan. Call it intuitive abstract painting. I didn't have a plan. I don't have a composition, nothing. And just hitting the ground running and explaining it to you in the process. So if you're watching, that's the first time ever I've done that. So thank you so much. Leave some comments. And I appreciate you joining in. Thanks for the hearts. And if there's something specific you want painted, you can always leave a message about that. But if I work on again this tomorrow, it I highly doubt this painting is finished. But it could be. Maybe we'll sit and look at it tomorrow morning together as a group and decide what are the favorite parts of it. I want to turn this painting around and look at it from different angles. And then I'll rehang it on the wall tomorrow. And it'll be good and dry by then. And see what are the most interesting parts to build upon, and what are the parts that don't feel like they're quite going in the right direction. Bless all of you. Thank you so much for joining Laurie Maves Art. I'll see you next time.